Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be going over my rear disc brake conversion on my 94 GMT 400 pickup. I've got a 14 bolt full float axle in this that I've installed into it. And anyway, just wanted to go over my disc brakes on that. There's not a whole lot of support aftermarket that I found for the GMT 400 platform for the rear disc brakes. And so anyways, just going to go over what I did to get around that and my setup here. And this is what we're looking at on my pickup here. So I've already got this converted over to a disc brake 4-wheel all the way around, and so I just want to go over what I had to do to make my setup work here. So this is originally a 94 half-ton pickup, and then I've swapped it out with a 14 bolt full float in the back, and then up front I've got a high pinion Dana 44 out of a 78 F250, and so I got that all retrofitted under there as well. But anyway, so everything, knuckles out there, that's all just Chevy Dana 44 knuckles, spindles, hubs, all that good stuff there. But that's not what we're talking about today. So anyway, we're back here. Normally, this setup would have a drum on the back of the hub. And so I had an 11-inch brake on this setup, so I had an 11-inch drum behind my hub, and that's the way that these 14 bolts are set up. So anyways, have to pull the whole hub and everything off, drive out your wheel studs, and then you can remove your brake drum. And then I took a front rotor, so I'm running the same rotors whole way around on the truck. Took a front rotor off the same application of the front axle there. So this would be a front disc brake rotor off a solid axle front truck, and then just put that on the back of the hub, same position as where the drum would have been. From there, you also need to get the longer wheel studs. These are dually wheel studs, and you need to get the extra length so that way you've got enough stud out here, because the drums aren't very thick that come off, so the wheel studs are actually quite a bit shorter. So you do need to install the longer wheel studs on there to get the right length. Anyways, but then the rear calipers, again, these are just front calipers off of the same application there. So just off of a solid axle Chevy pickup here, these front calipers are, but obviously I've got them on the rear, just using front pads, front rotors, front calipers for this application, as well as some front hoses that I've got on there that are all worked out. So but yeah, these are just your generic brackets that you get off Amazon or eBay or wherever to convert your 14 bolt over to disc brake. So I think the issue most people have though is on this top slide pin here, if you're dealing with a GMT 400 application, that this pin won't come out because it's going to hit your leaf springs. And so I think that's why they don't offer a whole lot for this kit, for this application anyways. So anyway, what I went ahead and did was I just cut these slide pins, these top slide pins, so now these are a 2-piece instead. And so over here I've got this side apart, so I'm actually doing some service on it, and I'll show you what I did there. So but yeah, so this is the top slide pin, and then I'll get you set up here. So but yeah, right here I've just got it, so it's 2 pieces. And so, and this part right here you put to the outside, and then you've got enough room to finagle this between your spring, and then you just assemble it. And so then you thread this into your backing plate, and then you thread this onto that. And so I'll show you all that here in a minute. But this is just a, like I say, this is just a caliper slide pin that I cut in half, and then I welded a couple of nuts here on this side, and then ground it all down so that way I clear my rotor. And then I'll show you what I'm dealing with that, like I say, in a minute. But on this side here, so I got the whole hub and everything off, so doing a little service. So I had a pulsation there, so anyway, machining a fresh face onto both sides of that. Gonna get some new hub seals in it too, so those were leaking a little bit. So I had everything apart. Figured it'd be a good opportunity to show everybody how I made my disc brake setup work on here. If anybody else is interested in that, what they might need to get into. So, but yeah, right here you can see that's just the generic bracket that you'd buy for your disc brakes, and like I say, from there everything's just swapping over front components to the rear. And then I also did end up changing over my master cylinder as well to a GMT 800 style master, which would have had four-wheel disc brakes on it originally. Anyways, so I'll go over all that too once we get the truck back on the ground. But right now I gotta get the brakes back together here, and I'll kind of show you how that all comes together. Running under the hood here, so like I was talking, this is my GMT 800 master cylinder I've got on here. This is actually off of a half-ton pickup, not a 3/4 ton or nothing like that. So, but would have had 4-wheel disc originally, and so I just tried it to see if that would be close for the proportioning or not. And it ended up working really well. I've got a real nice feel to my pedal. I would say that the brakes probably are 50-50 front rear instead of more like, 70-30, 70 up front, 30 in the rear. So the rear brakes do grab a little harder, but personally I like that a lot. I pull a trailer with this truck quite a bit, so it helps out quite a lot to have that kind of extra rear braking in the back. So anyways, but we'll go ahead and drive it, and then we'll see how everything turned out.